Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be working on this wall and we're going to be filling it up with tools that have to do with metal. Let's get into it. So the goal is to mount all the metalworking tools, which is the bandsaw, a grinder, a die grinder, and I'm also going to squeeze in a couple of other things that I'm going to be mounting, which is this battery holder, which is going to go in this cabinet, and also my compressor to fill up like tires for your car. And we're going to be using this 3D printed piece to mount this, but I'm going to get into this after we mount everything that goes on this wall here, because this is the main focus. So I laid out some of the brackets, or I don't know, hooks that go on this wall, and these are made by the same company that makes the backsplash, which is Wall Control, and these are 6-inch hooks. We also have like a hammer holder kind of thing. I'm looking to get ball peen hammers to put on here, two from Milwaukee. But you could also use these hammer holders for drills, like you can see here. I use this one for a drill. I have to take the bit off, but I keep it in the bottom there. So every time I'm gonna use it, I could just pull it out and put it on. So we have that, and we also have this heavy duty hook. And we also have this one here that I might be using for like measuring tapes, just to hook them on and stuff. And then we also have one here that we're gonna be doing the magnet trick, and I'll get more into that when I start working on the magnets. And this right here is for the grinder. Oh, we also have some tools down here that we're gonna mount. We have the Sawzall, and we also have M18 die grinder. I put this in place just to show you guys what I'm gonna be doing with this. I do not need a towel holder because I've mounted a towel holder over here with magnets. So I'm thinking about, instead of keeping this in the drawer, I'm just gonna cut this back here with the bandsaw and then just have a shelf. I might be also cutting this up some more because we don't need all this leverage here. First things first, I am going to mount the bandsaw, which some might say that's gonna take a lot of space on the wall and it looks very complicated, but it's very easy. I am going to be using two of these right here. And what I usually do when I'm mounting something so complex like this, I look for flat areas on the item. So as you can see, we have a flat area here and we have a flat area here. And if we want to set it horizontal, we could have these two hooks hanging from down here, but I'd rather have it vertical this way up. So I might just be putting it on here to make that work. And I want to put it up in this corner since the bandsaw is not really used that much. So let me set the camera in place and let me show you my process of me mounting the bandsaw up there in that corner. Well, that's it. That's mounted. As you guys saw, I wanted to put it as high as possible. So I put the hooks as high as possible, but unfortunately, I had to put it one slot under so that I'm able to pick it up and slide it in. And that's one of the things that we're going to be running into a lot. We always have to make sure that there is space for us to push it up and then land on top of the hooks. So now that that's mounted, we could leave it there and it's perfect. So now let's get to working with the Sawzall. I think the Sawzall is going to be one of the easiest because we're just going to be using this hook. So we could hook it like so. So it could go right here. And we're also going to be using one of these to sit right below it like so. And the goal for that is to put it up here as high as possible. And as I said that, I thought maybe it would be a good idea to put this up here just because I don't use this tool as much. But cosmetically, it might be a little bit ugly to mount that on top when we could just mount it in the bottom like so. Well, we're gonna see. Let's put the Sawzall up there and then see if we can put the die grinder right under it and see if that works and looks good. The Sawzall went in with no problem. This hook is sticking out a bit, but we could always use this to hook something on, maybe some Sawzall blades or something along those lines. And this part over here worked perfectly. And the same hook we used here, we also used here for the die grinder. And we used this little hook, which I did not show earlier, this one right here. I didn't have any extra ones, so I had to take it off an item on the other wall, but I think this setup will work perfectly. Maybe if I spin this around, I could probably go one more up, but you always have to remember when you're going to use the tool, you need the space to pick it up, to take it out. So maybe it's not a good idea to put it as high as possible, although it might fit there, but actually, nah, it won't fit and it won't look good. But you have to make sure that you do function over design, because you could design this so that everything is very tight and close and there's no space, but then it won't function when you have to pull the stuff off. So that is gonna stay the way that it is. So this piece right here is for the grinder, and it's very basic and simple. It's just gonna hook right there, as you can see. I got this from Amazon. It's nothing special. You could put a couple of brands on there, and it comes with 2 brackets. So the way that I'm planning on mounting it on the wall is by using magnets, these magnets right here. And I've showed this before on the channel, maybe like 2 or 3 other times. So it's gonna be the same idea. We are going to be putting this piece right back here using these slots right there to screw that on, like so. It's gonna be bolted on with a 632 screw. I'll leave a link on the top right corner on when I've done this before, and I get more into details in those videos. On here, I'm just gonna do it quick with a quick time lapse. I'm gonna be using 2 of these, just so you know, right here and right here. These magnets are pretty strong, so I don't have much of a worry as far as not being able to hold this grinder. But worst case scenario, we could always put more magnets right here in the middle. So let's put that on now. There we are. The grinder, die grinder, and Sawzall are in place. I was thinking about putting this grinder lower, but I think hand tools like hammers, pliers, and screwdrivers like this will be better suited down here, since this thing sticks out so much. The grinder I'm talking about sticks out a bit. So it's better to keep this bottom area open and available for hand tools. Also, I want to say, I took the big hook that was on, like this big hook on the die grinder, I took it off and put 2 little hooks, just because it's cleaner, it's tighter, it's not moving as much, and I'm still able to get it out of place, maybe with 2 hands. Well, yeah, it's tighter and it's a tool I don't use as much, so we'll just keep it like that. Just because these hooks are hard to come by and those small loops are easier to come by, I'll just keep that like that and save those bigger loops for other tools. So next will be this right here, is a 3D printed part, which is for M12 tools to be standing up like so. I usually have the M12 die grinder inside my mechanics box, which is here. But since I find myself using it a lot, I'm gonna be putting it on the wall. And I think that the spot I wanna put it on, it's right here, right about, like so. Just have to keep enough space on the top. Like I can't make it tight up there. I gotta keep it a little more or less low so that I'm able to bring it up and take it off the wall, because it slides in like so. So we have to be able to slide this up and get it off. So I'm gonna be doing the same exact trick of putting the magnets on the bottom. I'm going to be using 2, but I'm going to be making a hole in the middle here on the top and a hole on the bottom around here, as close as possible to this lower edge here. So let's do that now. There you go. Now we have the M12 die grinder installed. That might not be the final place for that tool. It's good for now. I know I said I was gonna put it in line. Actually, let me take it off to show you guys. I know I said I was gonna put it in line, so like put one in the middle here and another one in the bottom there, but I thought distributing the weight across from left to right will be better for the mounting. And it's not like it's gonna be holding a whole house. It's just gonna be holding that light tool, so I think that spot, it works out perfect. So I'll leave a link in the description for this tool holder. It has it for both left and right, so you are able to get one where the tool is facing to the left, like so, instead of to the right. I just had this on hand. I bought this a while back when I was doing construction of the whole entire basement, so I just decided to use it here. Next step is to mount this air compressor that is for, you know, airing tires on a bike and a car. And I bought this one off of Etsy. It's a very, very well printed, like it's thicker and it's strong. It feels like it was never printed. It feels like it was like injection molded, but it's really good quality. So we're gonna be using this to hook the air compressor on, but it's not gonna be going on this wall. It's gonna be going right below here. And the way we're gonna be doing that is by using the magnets. The only thing is that this time I am not going to be using the 4 holes. 4 magnets is way overkill. So I'm going to be making a hole somewhere in the middle here. One on each side, one here and one here, and putting 2 magnets there. It's gonna be pushing the air compressor out, because as you can see, if you install this here, it stays pretty much in line with the feet on the bottom. So it's gonna be sticking out about maybe 1/4 of an inch. So it's not gonna be lining perfect, but it's gonna do its job. So let's make these holes now and get it mounted. So there you go. My tire inflator or air compressor or whatever it's called is in place. I did change the hook on top just to bring that tighter to the top, the hard hat that I have there. So I was able to push this up a little bit higher, but we have to keep this space here just so that I'm able to bring this up and then get it out. As you guys can see, those 2 screw holes are not aligned. They're not straight, and that kind of bothers me. But when you put this on, you won't be able to see it, so that's all that matters. And the reason why it came out crooked is because inside of that 3D printed part, it's hollow, so when you drill it through, it wanders a bit inside. So just keep that in mind if you are going to be mounting it like that. The next thing that we're going to be attacking is this wonderful piece. I truly love this piece. A lot of people might be looking at this and saying, why would someone possibly need this? And it's because these batteries are being used a lot by Milwaukee. Most of their flashlights use these batteries. Their heated gloves uses these batteries. And I believe in sometime in the future, they are going to be making tools, power tools that are powered by these batteries. Maybe drills, screwdrivers, or something along those lines. So my goal is to stack up on these batteries to be prepared for the future. I truly believe that they're gonna be bringing this little batteries into other, tools that don't need a lot of power. So let me show you guys how I am going to be installing this. I'm going to be using the factory hose, which there's 2 over here and 2 over here. I'm only going to be using the top one just because we don't need a lot of magnets here. And the reason why I'm going to be using the existing hose, like if it was up to me, I would put them in the middle, but I'm going to be using these existing hose just because this feels like a delicate part. So we're just going to be using what's there. I'm not going to be using the washers as you guys saw me use in the last 2 products. I'm just going to be using these 632 nuts in the back, and hopefully these guide rails that are here are able to be guided into place. So let's do that now. So there you go. That is installed and looking good. Maybe a little bit crooked. Right there is good. So there you go. Everything's good. I don't like this wire though. Maybe I'll get another wire that does a complete 90. But other than that, I'm liking the way this is. And the person that sold me this, he makes it to order. So when you order it, it starts being made. So you're getting something brand new with no dust from being on a shelf. Also, he does do some custom things. So if you want to change the colors as far as here, you can. On his Etsy setup, he had these exact colors and I asked him, I want the same exact thing because you couldn't choose that. But he put a setting where you can ask for these 3 colors, which is black as the base, red on the outside and white on the inside, just to indicate that this inside is for the charger and the outside is for the battery. So I really like this product and I highly recommend it. And like I said, everything that you guys are seeing in this video, as far as the wall control items, this bracket for the grinder and that bracket, you're gonna find all those things in the description. I'm not gonna keep you guys hanging because what kind of person would I be if I show you guys how to mount these things and you guys don't even know where to get it. So now all that's left is to cut this bracket and then install it there. So there we go. Everything is on the wall. and nothing is really permanent, to be honest. This hammer holder, I just put it in as a fill-in spot, but my goal is to use this to put the hammers. It looks like this area up here is gonna stay the way that it is, but everything from below might move. Like this shelf might be moving somewhere else as soon as I get some hand tools to hang here. That bandsaw 100% is gonna stay up there. I don't use it enough, although in this video I used it 4 times to cut this up. And yeah, this wall is looking great. And everything that has to do with metal, my goal is to put it all on this wall. I also wanted to share other things with you guys, like this battery holder right here. As you can see, it's holding it right there. This is an example of the battery being held. I really like this because it has a hook to hook on top and something to snap in the bottom. So when you put this on the wall, you put the 2 on the top first, and then it snaps in. It's a really great product. And I'll leave a link to this also in the description. I use it more over here in this cabinet. So they have the M12 one, and they also have the ones for the M18. And he sells it for other batteries too. So I'll leave a link to that in the description. Also, just so you guys know, you don't have to go and buy the wall control hooks. You could also get these hooks from Amazon. It's a lot cheaper and you get a lot for the price. So it's the biggest bang for the buck. As you can see, I use this right here to hold this. It also comes with this to hold my chisel. And my goal is to sharpen these in the future. I went to Maker Camp and Rob taught me how to sharpen them. So I only sharpened the 1/2 inch because it was way too much to do during that little bit of time that I had because I came late. So I'm gonna be doing this on the channel in the future. So you can also get things like this. I like this one because you don't have to worry about it, you know, going up to take out. You could just slide it in like so. So yeah, there's just a whole bunch of setups, a whole bunch of things that you could do on this system, this wall control system. I truly, truly love it. You also have something like this that you could hook on to put tools on. Yeah. This welding area is done. Everything's looking great. I'm happy with how it came out. I love that all my tools are off the floor because if you guys saw earlier in the video, I had the saws all down there with the die grinder. And if we ever get water in here and it gets up to that point, I know I have bigger problems, but at least my sawzall and my die grinder won't get wet because it's way up here. If you guys take some ideas from this video and do your own setup, please leave a link to your Instagram or wherever you post it in the comments so I can take a look at it and maybe I can steal some of your ideas. So this is where I'm gonna have to end this video. If you learned something new, you can show me by giving me a like. Any comments or questions, leave it in the comments down below. And if you're interested in seeing more, consider subscribing, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thanks.